Man, we're getting tuned up live.
For like 10 seconds, or it won't save the video because there's going to be copyright infringement. Huh? Like turn the music down so they can hear it. What? What is the next downline name? So you should have it on. How long? But the other one was like 3 times.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are back. Welcome to the shop. We are back. Welcome to the shop. It's Thursday night, y'all. Thursday night, y'all. WMSK Online Radio. Home, home of the show. Underwood Morning Show. Yes, indeed. So, real quick, if you are living in Baltimore, if you are living in the Baltimore area, we're not going to celebrate this, but we did have 10 days of peace on the streets. We went 10 days without murder on the street, but unfortunately, 2 people were killed last night, I want to say. A young woman and a young man were taken away from their families. But we had 10 days. We got to do better, y'all. We have to do better. We only have one life, but we got to do better. So I want to just welcome everybody again. The Shop DMV on IG. You can check out the WMSK Online Radio on the YouTube and on the app. But you know what time it is, y'all? You know what time it is? You know what time it is. A moment. The great
Hot topics.
Thank you. So our first hot topic is, of course, the funeral of Nipsey Hussle, which took place today. Did anybody in here watch it? No. Me either. I saw clips of it on IG, and I mean, I don't really have a relationship with Nipsey. Like, I couldn't tell you any of his songs, but I feel like Born London is very special to me. So, like, I've been taking it from her standpoint. Like, I just can't even imagine what she's going through. Like, I watched her read the text message, and I watched the kids up there, and it was too much for me to handle. But maybe one day I'll go back and look at it. So the funeral was at the Staples Center. Tickets sold out. Well, they were free tickets, but they sold out in 10 minutes. Of course, scalpers were out there getting tickets, trying to sell them to the public. But all these sites like StubHub and whatnot, they also went ahead and just removed those tickets so that people were not able to resell them. There was also a 25-mile long procession so that Nipsey was able to be displayed throughout the hood that he grew up in and that he actually helped. Speaking of the hood, the sagas of gentrification. So, did we all hear about the Don't Mute DC thing?
Yes, I did. Don't Mute DC.
Don't Mute DC. So, the Metro PCS store on 14th and U Street has been playing go-go music outside for 24 years. I've driven past it many a day, been at the stoplight near it, listened to the music. But that part of DC is being gentrified and there's new people moving in. And they have complained about the music. Which prompted the city and T-Mobile to request that the owner bring the speakers inside. That started a Don't Mute DC hashtag where everyone in the DC area was out there protesting and signing petitions. I mean, they had a full-blown concert out there the other day. I should have went.
Yeah, because your boy was there.
My boo was definitely there. You know, Wale, I slide in his DMs like once a week. He said he was looking for love, so I just feel like if I slide in there at least once a week, he might actually open one.
You might catch him.
Anything's possible.
Yes, indeed.
I don't need him to take y'all nowhere. But whatever. I mean, well, you know, once I get in there, good. But I gotta go by myself.
No problem.
Okay, good. And then I'll bring y'all on. Okay. So anyway, John Leger, I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong. Legere, the CEO of T-Mobile, tweeted the following. I looked into the issue myself, and the music should not stop in DC. T-Mobile and Metro by T-Mobile are proud to be part of the Shaw community. The music will go on. Our dealer will work with the neighbors to compromise the volume, so DC will not be muted.
That's good.
That's
It is.
It's crazy because you know the neighborhood that you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there was no noise ordinance violated.
Right, because he was turning the music off before the curfew time.
Exactly.
So there was no violation.
They just wanted to hear that little Nas X.
I'm gonna take my horse on a hook.
Yeah. Remix. That one song. But you know, but you still speaking of the gentrification, when Black folks move out of the community to better themselves, they still have to occasionally reach back. So then your neighborhood, when they try to mute DC, then the people that used to live there and that are from there, they should also be speaking to their council people. Right. And making sure that the history is preserved. Next topic, the Neverland documentary that HBO had with the two accusers of Michael Jackson. They had a whole 90-minute, 2-part series documentary. Oprah had interviews with the guys afterwards. Well, it's been pulled. Oprah has pulled the interviews. HBO is no longer showing it on their screen. One of the guys said that he was sexually assaulted by Michael Jackson between 1988 and 1992. And he said that it happened in the train station that Michael had built on the Neverland Ranch. But come to find out, the train station wasn't even built on the ranch until 1993. So a lot of his stories were not adding up and not making any sense.
Nas.
Well, that's what I believe. I mean, I'm not saying Michael didn't do anything, but that boy was lying. HBO has since come out and said that they did not pull the documentary. They had always planned on running it on HBO until April 16th, and then they moved it to their streaming service, HBO Go and HBO On Demand, where you can still see the documentary. It is also worth saying that the Jackson family is currently suing HBO.
As they should.
Right. Since March 26th, 3 Black churches in Louisiana have been burned down in the same parish, in the same town. They actually ended up arresting a Holden Matthews. He's actually the son of the deputy sheriff in town, and his father is the one that turned him in. Mr. Matthews faces 3 counts of arson, which is 15 years each. I hope he throws a book at him.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Let's talk Kodak Black, shall we?
Why talk Kodak Black?
I mean, because he was in the news this week.
Okay, we can talk
T.I.
about
alive.
Yeah, right.
We don't have time for T.I. So, for a couple of, like, the first 2 days, I didn't understand, like, what was going on, what's the problem, why they were mad at Kodak Black. And even after I listened to it, like, so he said that after a year, he was going to slide into Lauren London's DMs. Like, I mean, he said he was going to wait a year.
That's still about disrespectful, though.
Why?
Because the man just
The
died.
man just died.
I just asked your opinion.
He just died.
Right.
Right.
So what? So if he said it in August, it would be different.
He should have said nothing.
You shouldn't have said anything.
He shouldn't have.
If he was going to do something, he should have
He
just
should have slid it
chilled
in.
it. Yeah, after a year.
But nobody wanted that. Anyway, so he said that he was going to slide into her DMs after a year. He was going to let her grieve, and T.I. in the game and a couple other celebrities came out to Lauren's defense and to Nipsey's defense, and Kodak Black basically says, "So what? Y'all ain't gonna do nothing about it. I can say what I want to say."
Well, I think he really said was,
so
y'all
what?
not going to sun me.
So what means so what?
And he's saying that if y'all had a problem with it, y'all should have came to me off
If this wasn't
the internet.
If this wasn't necessary,
It wasn't necessary, but I think that T.I. and the game and Tank and all the other people, you should have went to him, called him on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Everything's not for the internet.
but he said it on the internet.
You're right, but everything's not for the internet though.
I mean, a response deserves another response in the same arena. I thought it was funny though when they took down his stuff from the
They trapped me. He got mad.
Yeah, I ain't want to be in there anyway.
Y'all put my stuff in there without my permission.
But he definitely started to be one of the kings of trolling. Because like the other week he was talking about he wanted to have sex with young men, and that's shit about that life, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he tripping.
He just needs attention.
drugs. I think it's drugs.
And they did take his music off LA radios.
They did. A few radio stations did say they were not going to play him anymore. But how long is that really going to last?
How many hits do you think he's gonna really have?
My only song I know is that one that he's doing with Gucci and Bruno Mars. I don't know none of his other songs. That's it. And I be forgetting which one is him.
Oh, you know the one. He's a weirdo.
You know
No, I know what he looks like. I mean, on that song, I forget which verse is his. I gotta think like, oh, okay, that's it. Anyway, also speaking about Kodak Black though. So while all these men are jumping down his case about him saying what he said about Lauren London, I feel like they should have also pulled him to the side and discussed these rape allegations that he's facing.
Yes, indeed.
I feel like the older rappers who are out there trying to be conscious and in the community and all that, they need to start reaching back to these younger guys and having conversations with them. I mean, what he said about Lauren, yes, that was disrespectful, but you also need to be in his ear about the way that he's treating women.
Yeah,
So my bad, sis. Let me ask this question because somebody said this the other day. They said if you're going to check him on disrespecting that woman, are we now checking all rappers about disrespecting women?
We should, but they're
not.
They're not. T.I. be treating Kanye like shit sometimes.
Exactly.
And don't nobody say nothing.
And you're the first one to be doing, expeditiously. Get it right now. Not now, but right now. Yeah, that's him.
Right, that's him.
Some of these young folks don't want to hear nothing an older person has to say, especially when they give some money. They feel like it's my time and you already had your time. So it's kind of hard to talk to the young folks.
But you still got to say it.
You should.
I mean, that's just like these kids don't listen. You still got to say it.
You're saying he wouldn't respect the older generation of the rap community?
I don't think he
will. He getting some money.
But as of right now, how you gonna get money without fans?
Well, he's gonna have fans, the people who like his music, but he don't gotta have the radio no more. He can just have Apple Music or these other streaming platforms. People gonna look for YouTube and all
That's
that.
why everything should be shut down. If you want to teach a lesson, you shut it all down. All the streaming, all the Twitters, all the Apple, all the Tidal, all
forever.
As long as it takes.
But a lot of people will be losing money, and that's the problem.
You're right. A lot of people gonna lose money, but let's see the problem with our community is, we don't stick together for one, and we don't stick with the plan. Let's boycott Gucci. 2 days later, everybody in Gucci. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about T6. But what I'm saying is,
who came up with that plan?
Yeah.
So what's T.I. again?
It seemed like we put a lot of merits on T.I.
He's just the most vocal at the moment.
I mean, he shut down, what's the restaurant? Houston's. They shut that down. It worked.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure black people are back in Houston.
They never stopped voting.
They shut down Barney's. I'm sure people are back at Barney's shopping.
Yeah, one of them NBA boys, NBA young something or another got beat up outside of there. It was Jay, NBA young Jay.
Oh, the guy from Houston or something, the Texas boy.
One of them NBA somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and last in my few quickies, I don't have a lot about these. Solange pulled out of Coachella, citing production issues. Magic Johnson stepped down as the president of the Lakers. Meghan Markle is due any day now.
Oh.
The Lion King trailer came out. Did anyone catch it?
Yeah, it's all over there.
I might go see it. I don't know. There was a black couple on vacation in the Dominican Republic. They rented a car and were never to be seen again. The car was found at the bottom of the ocean. Their bodies have been found and I believe identified. And my Aunt Wendy Williams, prayers to my aunt. Thank you. Has officially filed for divorce. Well, okay, allegedly. She has officially filed for divorce from her husband, Kevin Hunter. Do I think she's going to talk about it on tomorrow's show? No, because Friday's show is taped on Thursday afternoon. So the stuff came out after she had already taped Friday's show. Is she going to talk about it on Monday? Probably not.
She's going to wait like a week.
She ain't gonna never talk about her own stuff.
Right. And is that a problem?
Yes.
So this week's show is all about parenting. So my last little quickie update. Last weekend, Dwayne Wade and his family supported his son Zaire as he came out at Miami Pride. I think that was very good of them. I think you support your children in whatever they do that's not against the law. And I like that they did it as a family.
God bless them, but
But
I don't know.
How old is the son?
11.
Whoa.
11.
He might not really know what
y'all ever
what
seen
he
him?
really thought.
No.
Yeah.
So he gonna be like Magic
What's
Son.
his name?
Zaire Wade. But it's on Gabrielle Union's page. For those of us that have seen him and like have followed Dwayne and Gabby on like their social media, like I didn't need you to be at Pride yesterday, baby. I already knew.
He's 11.
He's
11 though, like
He had them traits.
No.
Live your life, sweetheart. So at 11, you don't think that he's mature enough to make that decision?
no, he doesn't. I don't feel like he knows what's happening. I don't feel like the family should have
Supported it like that.
not like that. They should have kept it in house.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Like, whew.
That's a lot. I don't see him on page. I'm not gonna look him
I just don't think at 11 something is not clicking with him, and yeah, they want to. I don't know. I couldn't deal with 11 years. This is what I want to be, and this is what I want.
So at what age do you think is a good time to?
At least let him, right, 16, 15, 16, 17. He ain't
So-
some experience.
right. He ain't.
So would you rather?
I mean, is he having sex?
No.
I
hope not.
Is he? I mean, I hope not.
Right, but you don't. What do you know at 11 years old?
I mean, I have an 11-year-old, and I don't think he knows much to like. I don't even know. Like, I do have an 11-year-old, and if he were to come to me and say that I would probably have the same feeling. Like, okay, but let's rethink. Let's rehab this conversation in like 4 years.
Right.
I'm not saying I don't accept it. I'm just saying in like 4 or 5 years, let's talk about it one more time, just to make sure. Because I know a lot of girls that was gay for like 2-3 years. Now they got whole families.
Exactly.
Or I know girls that have a whole family now they in love and married to some woman. So I don't know.
Then you can change.
It can.
when they're young. Well, I guess this goes into the parenting topic.
It does. So, how do you approach parenting? Like, how do you approach parenting? Like, when it comes to your children, are you more trying to be, not necessarily trying to be their friend, but are you coming to them as an authority or as someone that they can come to at any time?
I'm not nobody's friend. Flat out. I'm not their friend. I'm not their friend at all. Sorry, know I'm not a homeboy. Young boy, he only 4, but I'm not their homeboys. Because I don't want nobody taking or misconstruing anything, and then they get you, oh, that's my dad, we can play. No.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of new at it, and I think I took an approach as to be their friends and just to be their friends and stuff like that, as opposed to now sometimes when I want to lay the smack down or quote unquote, they looking at me kind of like, haha, he's joking, when I really don't be joking, which is a bad thing. So it's definitely something that probably should have been thought about before jumping into the deep end.
Mm-hmm. I like to be the cool, friendly mom that we have a good time together, but like I also make sure they understand that I can and will kill you. Like true, like at the end of the day, like we can laugh, we can joke, we have a good time, we can sit here and go back and forth as long as it doesn't get disrespectful. But you also need to know that I will kill you. Like I will lay hands on you, I will go to jail. Play with me if you want to. You don't feel that way?
No.
That's how I am. Like, when it's time to get serious,
Right.
I'm serious. But other than that, because I want my daughter to be comfortable enough to come to me about anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want her to know that she can't fucking play with me too. So,
Right. I'm in the game. I pay all the bills in this joint. I tell them that all the time. At least 4 times a week I remind my kids, I pay all the bills in this motherfucker. And you're going to do what I said to. You know why? Because I paid the bills. Because you turned the light on that I paid for, so that's why you're going to do it.
Hmm.
How do you approach parenting different from the way you were parented?
That's a good question. We have this thing where sometimes we should explain more. And when my mother told me no, she kind of explained like, this is why I'm not letting you do this, or this is why. And sometimes my kid is swift, you know what I'm saying? She was like, how come we can't do this? And then we got to go back and forth. And sometimes we'll just be like, nah, we just can't do it. This is what it is.
mm-hmm.
And I get a little frustrated with it, but it's work in progress.
So you parent like your mother does, or you're different?
No, I'm different. So she explained things to me,
And you don't like
and
it?
sometimes yes, sometimes I get tongue tied and she's fast. So I feel like she's a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? She's like this, and I sometimes just get frustrated and be like, nah, that's what it is. So this is what it is.
Touch.
I don't
How do you
have-
parent differently from
I don't negotiate. I don't have a tolerance for nothing.
You let Elaine negotiate?
I ain't gonna say she negotiated, but she had a tolerance for her only baby boy. I don't have a tolerance for nothing. And it might be because of
You was out there doing your daughter's mom?
maybe. But the fields that I've worked in the past, there's no negotiation. So therefore, I can't negotiate with somebody who's younger than me. We ain't going back and forth. If I like it, we gonna like it together. We can talk about it, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be my decision. And now that this older person that I have has a job, and she's 18, she's starting to do things that she would like to do. I don't like her way of doing things, but it is what it is. You can't fight what they have going on at 18. At 18 is a whole different story. So I don't know.
So my mother was more of a do what I say because I said so.
Let me pause you real quick. I'm gonna go to a commercial real quick, y'all.
So yeah, my mom was like more of a do as I say because I said so type of person, and I stayed in trouble for the smallest, like the smallest things in the whole world. And so I try to at least give my kids the benefit of the doubt. Like I don't go off on them from jump. That's how I do it. What song is that?
Maybe that is me. Nas. You said Nas.
You put this in the thing. I never even heard the song. I was hoping they had it.
No, you did. You picked the song this week.
No, I did not.
Wait a minute.
Oh, did I pick that?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I just Googled parenting songs, and whatever hip hop one came up, that's the one I did. They're having a real good conversation.
Yes, they are. Very good.
Oh, don't forget we doing call-ins tonight, y'all, at like 10.
Call in live.
We'll put the number in there.
Reach, you ain't tell us how you different parenting than your mother.
Did you say something? Right, hold on.
Oh.
They still back on the gay kids.
What are y'all?
They still back on the gay kids. Yeah, that's what they said. First of all, I found out that Jig was a hoe.
Jake, you a hoe, Jake?
That's what they said. That he a whole hoe.
Jake, no!
He was out here kissing at 4.
Oh, Jake, no, Jake!
At 4.
Oh, Jake!
But you can only see me now.
I'm trying to change it.
Most people think that 11 might be together.
11 is not where it's at.
Young. I don't agree with that. And I understand they trying to be supportive. I guess they like, hey, we already know he's gay, whatever. But he's not wrong. If he was 18, maybe 16, but 11, no.
But have you heard about those people whose kids say that the people who allow like their 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds to like wear girl clothes and stuff?
Yeah, it was somebody made a book or something.
Probably. Or that there's that show on TLC, I Am Jazz.
Yeah, that's wild.
I didn't watch it. I mean, each their own. You're allowed to have your own life, but.
What's that? I don't know. They got this white lady who got adopted a black boy, and she dresses him up as a girl.
Where?
I forgot her name, but they were talking about it last week. She dresses him up as a girl, puts his hair in ponytail. Shit is crazy. How you not gonna be able to be your own self?
Well, maybe she feels like he is being his own self.
No.
You said Jig a hoe?
That's what they say, Jig home. I forgot what the hell going on, Jig.
Didn't he say he was a hoe?
Jig, not you. Please, don't tell me it's you.
You want to take your jacket off? Want to get what we have? So our next topic is co-parenting.
We awful. What's going on? We're saying discuss that part.
That's fine, we can talk about it.
You want to talk about it or not?
On how you parent differently.
No, it's just keep it moving.
Okay.
Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt.
Oh wait, Jim said back in the day he had more fun. Right?
Yeah.
Had a little fun, didn't we? Oh, Charlize Theron is the lady who adopted the little black boy and dressed him up as a girl.
Yeah.
The actress from South Africa.
0297 800 593 0297
That ain't even no baby. He like probably around our age too.
Are you starting this one?
Hey, we're back.
We back. So, we are still on the topic of parenting, and next we're going to talk about co-parenting. So, we all have children here. Myself, I have 2 children, biological.
You got more than that?
I'm pausing for a minute.
How you gonna pause
didn't
it?
know about the
You ain't
second
talking.
one.
No, hold on.
What you pausing for? You can't pause on the
Hold
radio.
on. So my oldest is 18, and her mother and I, that was a world of different stories. But we made it to graduation, and now she's in college. At the age probably around like 7, once she got her own cell phone, this was the time when we were getting cell phones for our kids, and I started to communicate with her that way, not in a disrespectful way, but hey, let your mom know I'm outside. Come on, let's go. And that's how we continue to do our thing. Now with the 4-year-old, he doesn't have a cell phone. He ain't texting nobody. So I do have to communicate with his mom. And it's basically, hey, I'm outside. Hey, I'm dropping him off at the school. Hey, I'm picking him up. So those terms that we use are great.
Mm-hmm.
So far, 4 years have not been bad of co-parenting. So how about anybody else? How do you all feel about co-parenting? Live, how do you feel live about co-parenting?
Woo! It's tough. It's tough. It gets to the point where you just be like, fuck it. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I didn't even really want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through so much when it comes to co-parenting.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult, but I think it's difficult on my end because there's still some feelings involved.
With you or with him?
With him.
Okay.
But the thing is, I don't want him. I just want him to be in my daughter's life.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's to the point where it's just like, you be like, fuck it. You don't feel like dealing with it. So I'm over it. And then I guess once I get married or move on and take someone serious, then he'll want to be in my daughter's life.
So he's not involved at all, or he's just not involved as much as you think he should be?
It's when he feel like it. But I feel like I shouldn't have to make anyone be a father.
Right.
So I just don't stress it. Why stress myself out? You know, my daughter gonna be good regardless at the end of the day. So it's just not fair. It used to make me really angry. I used to be like, why I gotta do everything myself? You needed this. It used to make me really mad. And I just learned to just let it go and just go with the flow. And my daughter's still gonna be taken care of regardless.
So I had 2 boys. My oldest is 18, and his dad has seen him maybe twice since he was 5, and he lived in Silver Spring. Like, he don't live far from our house. He lives down the street. You can see him anytime. So when he was 5, he used to go over there every other weekend. But I've always been like the full-time mom. Like, I had him, and he came down to college with me for my last 3 years, and so like his dad was able to still be out here continuing living life. So when he would get him on his weekends, he didn't understand that like you and your friends can't sit around drinking because it's a 5-year-old in the house. So like you can't expect a 5-year-old to just go sit in their room and play. Like that's just not what they do. So my son came to me and was like, I don't want to go there anymore. Okay, I'm not gonna make you. And just like Reese said, like I'm not gonna make anyone be a father. Like your son said he don't want to come to your house no more. You said okay, and then like you never reached out to him, or he would also be in charge of Christmas stuff, and he would say okay, I'm gonna get X, Y, and Z, and then Christmas Eve comes, you ain't drop the shit off, and now I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get to the store because I still gotta do all that stuff.
Right.
So when he was like 10 or 11, I just sent him this real lengthy text message like, yo, I don't need you. Like, my son eats every day. He got clothes on his back. He's well taken care of. As long as you still, every other Friday, put that money in my bank account, like, we don't need you. You're not going to keep showing up and disappointing me and disappointing him. Like, I don't want him to think that you are the example of what a father should be. And like at the time I was married, so like he had a dad in the house or whatever. So there's no need to keep going back and forth with you because you only want to show up when you want to. And then my soon-to-be ex-husband, like he's a great father. He was to like both of them, but he doesn't know how to be a father and not be a family. So like now that we're not a family, now that we don't come together as a whole package, he doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know how to make it happen. And like the 18-year-old is over it. He don't want nothing to do with him because like he knows that he out there like smoking and drinking and all that stuff, but he doesn't want anything to do with it. Whereas the 11-year-old still feels like he's the best thing in the whole world. Like his dad can do absolutely no wrong ever. Like it don't matter that you haven't seen your dad in 3 months. Like as far as you're concerned, like it must be my own fault that I don't see him. So then I have to keep explaining like it's no one's fault that you haven't seen him, or it's no one's fault that you don't get to spend the night over there. It's not a good look. So like he's in therapy, and him and his therapist have discussed it and how you can spend time with your dad, but it's not time for you to like spend the night over there. And he now knows the issues that his dad has, but I don't think at 11 he really understands like a drug addict or alcoholic or like what that is. So when he does go over there, like it's crazy that when he goes to his dad's house, like the rule that he has at his dad's house is you're not allowed to leave the house with nobody. Cause like, so his dad doesn't have a car. So if someone comes to pick y'all up, you're not allowed to leave the house with them. I don't care if you know them, you're not allowed to leave the house with nobody. If your dad go outside and he's gone for too long, you need to call me on the phone because he could be out there, doing whatever. So like we have to have these conversations on the best way for you to be safe when you're with your dad. And like he lives with his parents, so usually when he go over there, I call or text both of his parents like, Louis is coming over to spend time with his dad. Y'all gonna be there? And like one day my mother-in-law was like, well, I have X, Y, and Z to do. So I text my father-in-law like, hey, Louis is coming. Your wife's gonna be back till X, Y, Z time. I just thought I'd let you know. And like my father-in-law made sure that he was home until his wife came home just to make sure. And it's not like we feel like something bad is gonna necessarily happen. But
safe. Yeah.
Yeah, like we just have to be safe and just make sure that everything's gonna be okay because you never know like when something's gonna go bad. So I mean I can't say that I have a bad co-parenting experience. I have inactive co-parenting experiences. Like they just the oldest one's father, like I called him 7 times. Like my son turned 18 on Saturday. I called his dad 7 times on Friday just to say, hey, don't forget to call your son. Mm-hmm. He ain't answered the phone not one time. I sent him a text Saturday at like 4:45, like, yo, today's your son's 18th birthday. Like, the least you can fucking do is call him. He said, oh, can you give me his number? Like, that was his response. Like, all right, well, give me his number. I don't even know if he ever reached out to him because if he did, like, my son didn't say anything. But I shouldn't have to harass you and text you to remind you that it's your son's 18th birthday. Right. Not his 8th, not his 5th, like his 18th fucking birthday was Saturday. You didn't have a gift. You ain't getting no extra dollars. I don't know if you called. And like, you don't even feel bad.
Well, in a situation like that, and for other parents who aren't actively in their child's life, they will never feel bad. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to be a parent. They don't know, and even with me, like dealing with a daughter, I gave her space. So I was dating somebody when she was younger, and the person had kids her age. She wanted to be around those kids. So therefore, you go where you want to go and you feel comfortable, and your dad will be with you along the way. When you want to go out, you go out, things like that. But for parents that just don't want to be in the child's life, they will never know how it is or how it would feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, mm-hmm. He's turning 18 years old. You have to call and text him several times. Mm-hmm. He don't care. Yeah. So after the first 2-3 calls, I'd have never called again. Like even at 37, I went to the hospital. My mother, my mother called my father. He didn't answer the first time, and she called back. He answered. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So he called the next day. Like, I'm 37. I really don't care. But when do you say I'm going to step up? You know what I'm saying? It's not like I need my father, but at least you could have drove down, and then with your son's father, at least he could have showed up the night before, the day of, whether it be 5 minutes, an hour, whatever the case may be. So I think those are the hardest part of co-parenting when you don't have the matching co-parents.
Right. Same amount of energy.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good way to put it. Very good way.
Well, Monet, like actually hearing that side of the story, it's kind of, I don't want to disrespect that man, but it's kind of, it's a messed up position. And I know, like you just kept it real and you painted a real picture that some people just not out here doing what they supposed to do. And it's really sad that your children have to go through that because of some messed up stuff. As far as my co-parenting stuff, well, just to let everybody know that I have a son, but he's not biologically mine. And me and his mother are cool. Like, we're still friends in my eyes. So she kind of makes things really easy for me, per se. As in, she'll text me and be like, hey, you got wrestling today, you got this and that. And, I'll show up to the events. Me and him still talk, and we have a friendly relationship. And, we go out certain times, we go paintballing, we watch movies, we play games. So it's kind of easy. And it's sad because, no disrespect to this guy, but his true biological father doesn't do anything with him. And, I mean, honestly, I feel like, I'm going to be real, I feel like that's some fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? And he's truly missing out on a great kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude, he wants to do things, he got ideas. Sometimes he stray away from the wrong path, but I try my best to get him back in line and let him know the things that he should be doing. But when you go outside, things happen.
Right.
But it's just sad that there are fathers out, well, not fathers, we don't call them sperm donors or one of the other topics, baby daddies, who are out here just letting their kids willy-nilly. And then probably if he makes it to the NBA or whatever, they gonna pop up and be like, hey, that's my son.
Of course. But
They ain't putting no groundwork for the shit at all. Like, that shit is terrible.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? For men, that shit is embarrassing. I don't care what you got going on in your life. Your kid is your kid, and you should always try to have some relationship with them. I understand you and the mama got some issues or whatever, but you need to focus in and do what works for your kid.
Right. But in your case, that's respectable of you to take on someone else's child. And for the mother, there should definitely be no issue because, you know what I'm saying, you stepping up, we all should commend you. The world should have more of you, and those are good things that you're doing, you know what I'm saying, because especially in our community, we have always our sons have a lack of father figures. When I came up and was going to school, I think all my friends from elementary to middle school, I don't think none of us, we all were single mother households.
Yeah.
All of us, every single, even to the white guy. Shout out to Austin.
It is awesome.
Florida somewhere.
Okay, go ahead.
Even to the white guy, we all grew up single mother households. And that's crazy. But we need to make that change.
Yeah, we gotta do better.
So, India, she couldn't make it tonight, but hey, India.
Hey,
So
India.
in the chat, India made a good point. She said a lot of times women don't get that what co-parenting is. They feel like they control the situation no matter how it is. And I can see that sometimes some women do feel like since I'm here all the time, I'm in control of how this whole thing is rolling down, which can be a hindrance to the father-son relationship as well. I don't know because I'm always the mom that's here all the time. So,
It depends on the relationship that you're trying to build with the co-parent. If you sit here and let that woman negotiate, dictate.
I dictate and I negotiate.
Yeah. I said, it depends. I'm not going to let nobody dictate my time.
Yeah, listen.
At
if
all.
You usually bring her home at 12 o'clock at night and it's a school night. I need you to bring her home at 8.
I ain't bringing nobody home at 12 o'clock because he's going to be in the
But you
bed.
don't.
My 4-year-old is going to be in the bed 9 o'clock the latest. So ain't no dictating. I'm not coming to your house at 12 o'clock. Why am I going to disturb your peace and his peace?
Right.
No. So there's no dictation of how my show is going to be ran. We going to run this together or we ain't going to run it at all.
So if I say, well, not your 4-year-old, just say your child was 10, 11.
Right.
And I say, bring her home at 8. That's going to be a problem?
Bring her home at 8.
But that's when it become a problem to some people.
But if I want to know why you want me to bring her home at 8 and why can't I take her to school in the morning?
Well, she's not spending that with you.
In my household or my situation, that's how it's happening.
She's not spending that with you.
Because there's no child's mother of mine is going to tell me, oh, my child can't spend the night with me.
Well, you're a little more responsible.
Well, that's the problem.
Does he know the child like that? Like, were y'all together while the child was?
Yeah.
So what does a man do when the woman won't let him be a father because she's bitter?
Well, a friend of mine, he went to court. He was like, she not running this. And I said, you did the right thing. He got a lawyer.
I mean,
he did what he had to do.
I hate the court system.
But that's what he had to do.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I said, I'm very proud of you. He a regular dude. You know what I'm saying? He was like, my daughter mother is not taking my child away from me.
Right.
So he went to court. And so now they have something established.
Like visitation and all that.
Yes. And he picks her up on certain days and she just got to do it.
You see, you got to understand, right? The court sets the guidelines, but the parent or the co-parent can also deviate from the guidelines. But again,
But you have to be in agreement.
you have to be in agreement. You have to have a good relationship. And no, we don't have to be homeboy, homegirl. We don't got to be, hey, how your day was today? Oh, everything okay with you? We don't have to do that. But we should have to communicate for our child.
So what is an ideal co-parenting situation?
Communication, meaning that if I communicate with you, hey, just like right in a minute, we're going on spring break. The spring break is coming up and we're going to Florida, wherever we're going to be going. I'm letting you know this in advance. I need this certain type of documents.
When you letting me know or you asking?
I'm letting you know. There's no asking. See, that's another problem.
What's the problem?
Why should I have to ask for my child?
Is it your weekend?
Ain't no weekends.
Why are you yelling at me?
See, that's it.
Communication is bad. You're yelling at me. I ain't even heard. But like, these are valid questions. Like, wait, where are you going? Who are you going with? Who's going to be there? Like, I'm allowed to ask you those
Oh, you can ask certain
about my
questions,
child.
but guess what?
Pretty certain. I can ask you all the questions I want.
You can ask all the questions, but guess what? Everything is booked and everything is done. I'm not
You
asking.
shouldn't have booked without.
I am not. See,
How long did you let her know?
no, everything is fine. Everything is cool.
But like, you didn't book it and then tell her.
Why not?
Which you could be like, yo, me and so and so thinking about going to Orlando, and I was.
No.
What are you in a good co-parent?
Yes, I am.
No.
Because
At the end of the day, you're in a
so
good co-parent. And
so
everybody says stop yelling at him.
You bring it down. Because I'll guess it. I mean,
we all know this.
I'll do is you feel
You
like
feeling it? It's hard.
Yeah, you got to feel it because parenting is hard.
It is.
Parenting is hard, and parenting with somebody, and I don't have the situation of, oh, I need rules. You have to have, you can't do this. I gotta ask that. Oh, I don't have that type of situation. Everything is open and out there. So therefore, I don't have to say, can I, can I pick up my son at 5 o'clock and bring him back on Sunday at 9? I don't have to do that.
I feel like.
Negative.
So you just showing up at my house and taking the baby?
No one showed up. I told you. I told you in advance. I'll be there, but I'm not gonna say can I.
So y'all don't have a set agreement?
No. You.
Do you have? Well, you.
I'm open.
Y'all don't have a set agreement either, but you kids are big.
Yeah.
So you get the throw. That's different.
But okay, but even like you said, at age 5 and those things, you said he was open to come. He was allowed to be there in his life. He
We
can
had
come.
an agreement though.
But you said he was open, right?
Yeah, we had an agreement. Like you have every other weekend.
Oh,
You'll
no.
pick him up from my house on Friday at this time. You'll have him back at Sunday at that time. I don't understand why that's a problem. That's just
that's a problem.
respectful situation.
Yeah, but people
But like be like, nah, I'm not doing it.
But I'm
Why
not.
not? That's just a respectful agreement amongst adults.
No.
All right,
Everybody, like I said, everybody's situation is different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's situation is different. So I'm open to come whenever I would like to. No, I'm not gonna sit there. I'm outside. Son, I'm outside now. No, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna go pick him up after school. I'm out. I'm gonna be coming showing up.
We had
Wait. So you calling me that day? Like I'm gonna pick him up after school?
Yeah.
But what if I have shit going on? Like
We'll be
now
right
that
back.
they go work.
We'll be right back, y'all.
But what if like I got something going on after school? Right.
Does the kid have something?
You're not about to fuck up.
Yeah.
So then,
We already got stuff today after school.
So you
coming in
gotta
tomorrow?
understand, right? Every situation is different. I might have one baby mother who I gotta be all like, oh my gosh, let me set the schedule. But with this 4-year-old, everything is all good. I don't have to have a schedule. At 5 o'clock, if she so let me ask you this question. If at 5 o'clock she texts me and say, I need you to go get him, is that impeding?
Why does she need
If
to
you
do
can, you can. If you can't, you
But is that impeding?
that? Impeding on what?
Or what if I had to do something?
Then
You
if you
say
can't
no,
do
I
it, just
said
say
I
no.
got
Okay, so
But
she asked though at 5 o'clock, right?
What?
But if she asked at 5 o'clock,
If she asks at 5 o'clock,
Something
you
may
go
have
pick up right
happened.
now.
huh?
So it's 5 o'clock and she like, can you go get him?
Right.
Well, what happened? Like, why
I'm gonna ask no question. If I can do it, I'm gonna do it. I ain't gonna ask no question.
I mean, that's between you and your baby mother. I don't know.
Yeah, everything is nice and smooth. Everything is nice and smooth, no problems.
I need set times. Like you're not going to text me at noon on Monday like, oh, I'm gonna pick up so and so after school. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine because that's how she made it. You know what I'm saying? That's how she made it to be okay in that situation.
Right.
She made it
Right.
open.
Oh, I don't know how to say that. Unison? I don't know.
That's my man.
Parents should always keep an open dialogue. If you have plans with the child, let the other parent know in advance.
Just a long break or the
So
short
there
break, guys.
can be no issues.
We didn't even talk about step parents.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, we're continuing this conversation anyway when it did come back on. So,
Get your face out the goddamn camera.
listen.
boy.
Did y'all hear about Jennifer Hudson
No,
and her soon-to-be ex, whatever?
that was good.
So, in the divorce agreement, he got primary custody of the child because she's always traveling. But he has also requested that she pay his mortgage and all his living expenses because the child should be able to live in the same style that he's accustomed to.
Oh gosh, here go another guy.
I don't like that.
I don't either, but that's what he said. Like, he said that she should pay for his housing and all his living expenses
Nigga,
because
go to work. What are you a rustler?
But do you feel like they should do the same?
should do the same what?
I mean, it sounds like what he's just trying to do.
This is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say. I got a homeboy who has custody of his son. He has custody of his son, and she should be paying child support, but she hasn't. Now I don't know if it's court ordered, but she don't do nothing for this boy. But she wants him to come on every summer vacation to where she is. I feel like if this, I feel like this. Maybe the shoes can be turned, maybe it shouldn't. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, I need you to pay spousal support and this support, and he gotta live the way he was living. No, go get a freaking job.
He trying to use it as a come up.
Exactly.
But a lot of women use it as a come up too.
They do.
I mean, I feel like it's messed up. It's not typical manly.
No, it's not manly at all.
But you can see everybody.
He found the loophole in the system and trying to.
But I mean, it is typical. When women, if they're married to a rich man and they get a divorce, and she was a stay-at-home mom, then the judge is going to grant that the husband has to make sure that the children still have the lifestyle.
Like,
That happened to Mary J. Blige, didn't it?
And they don't even have no fucking
he
kids.
was an old bitch for that.
Yeah.
They don't even have no fucking kids.
But I don't feel like anybody should.
All right, guys. Y'all gonna cut off in a minute. So we're gonna end it and start again. Everyone come right back.
Come back live.
Damn,
2 minutes. If that. I don't know.
Nope, you got 18 seconds. I'll be right back, guys.
Keep listening. Are you age 85 or younger? Here's an important message to you and those who
I hope so.
insurance services. The average funeral now costs
$1,000.
and the most.
Because we just went off live.
And just because you're the only one looking at it. All right, we back on. So leave out of the one you want to go back into the new one.
$1 per day and will pay
Taking out this
$30,000 for
Yeah.
funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime.
We didn't talk about divorced parenting either. But we can bring that up again. So the next thing we're going to talk about is step parents.
Just answer a few
Step parents.
I don't.
Plus call right now.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm a step parent.
God bless you. Especially, you in a situation when you came into, yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about step parents and some of the situations that go along with that.
Come on back.
Oh, this is a long break.
Come on back, y'all.
Okay, I'll bring that up. So, also, while we wait for baby mama to go off, y'all know Jesse Williams from Grey's Anatomy?
No.
The black guy with the green eyes?
Well, I know him from like a lot of BT speeches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
him. Sorry, I love Grey's Anatomy. Anyway, so him and his ex-wife, they separated. He currently pays $100,000 a month in child support and spousal support.
For what?
$50,000 in child support, $50,000 in spousal support. That's well, he makes $352 million a month. $352,000 a month. She takes care of his kids.
Oh, okay.
So they're going back to court because he wants to lower the amount that he pays. So she's requesting that he pays her legal fees in the amount of $200,000 because
Like Khalees need all that money from now. So what?
And then
take care of your child.
what happens when you ain't popping no more? Your money ain't
Right.
like that. That's rough.
Look, I don't know. But yeah, she wants him to pay $200,000. He pays $100,000 a month for
Live, how do y'all feel about spousal support, overpaying? How do y'all feel? I ain't giving nobody no $100,000.
Well, if I was used to living that way, you should pay.
That's your business. That's your business. What kind of freaking job?
But I had a job when you were messing with me.
Right, and I now have
So keep it out.
children. So we
The
have
child. I'm gonna pay for the child stuff. The
right,
child
you pay
stuff.
me $50,000 a month for
The
that.
child stuff.
But when you've been married for a certain period of time, you end
Them
up
baby mamas be getting it too.
You can't get spousal support if you wasn't someone's wife.
Yeah.
You gotta be a wife to get spousal
They get
support.
something
They get child support.
too much extra.
I think,
Well, that's on them.
I think most men would probably think that the way child support is doled out needs to probably be revamped. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think I don't have to pay any child support, thank God. But I think like it would be dope if, hey, it was like a credit card and it was like a all encompassing baby store and you can only use it there.
Your child needs this BG&E just like I fucking do. You're not gonna tell me what to use your child support on. If your child plays PlayStation and eats the food in my house and needs the clothes, if I want to use the money that you give me every month for child support to pay for BG&E and my car note that gets your child to and from, that's my motherfucking business.
I'm not gonna never say like your child support is gonna go wherever. Your child support gotta go for the housing, the food, the BG, all that's all good. But I think that these celebrities and their spouses that's coming up are getting way too much.
It's about the lifestyle you were accustomed to.
Lifestyle.
That you were accustomed to. The
The
judge is not gonna. All because I'm about to divorce, the judge is not gonna go. She gotta go be poor and get on welfare. Like that's not how it's gonna work.
You gotta be poor, but you can have a nice apartment.
Why I can't have a nice townhouse?
You can have a nice apartment, nice condo. You
But
gotta
if we have 3 kids, we need a townhouse.
Oh, we got 3 kids. We got a 3-bedroom apartment. 3-bedroom
No, you
condo.
need 4 because there's 3 kids. Everybody sharing a room.
So you just want
What
to
about when you have other people's kids?
Who has other people's kids?
Like, let's say, I have a kid with you, and such have a kid with you, and that person.
All right. We're back.
I mean, like, is your child still getting taken care of? So if me, you have a kid, and me and Hutch also have a kid, and you the only one paying child support, you're gonna be mad. But I mean, that's on him. It don't matter what I use your money for, as long as your child is taken care of, that it's all the same. Don't tell me what to do with my child support money. It's the same thing if a man is getting child support. The woman should not tell him what to do with their money.
So check this out real quick. Fire superstar. A lifestyle does not equal child support. A luxury is a privilege, not a right.
So it doesn't. But spousal support does equal your luxury and your privilege. That's why you need to be a wife.
Yeah. I don't think problem is. That's how.
Of course you want to see what the problem is. This made a play. Of course you want to see what the problem is. This is up your alley.
If I'm dealing with you and we break up and you spoil me, wine me, dine me, why should I have to go back to the hood?
Wine and dine your ass down. My time is up. Let me
What
next.
you do to get out besides bag somebody?
No, what?
Woo! Here we go.
Hey.
6 verse Reese.
No, it's never really 6 versus 3.
No, I just,
Difference in opinion.
now we broke up. Now you're not supposed to do anything. You shouldn't have put me up here and expect me to go back down here.
What?
You shouldn't have did it.
But you was my husband. You were my husband.
Okay. Hold up. Let's talk about the ones that's not husband and wives.
Well, that's on her.
Let's talk. Okay, thank you. So let's talk about those ones.
I mean, that's on her.
Thank
First
you.
of
Now
all,
we got a baby. You gonna pay
child support.
Child
You're
support.
gonna pay spousal. But if you gonna be this man's girlfriend for 15 years, y'all got 2 kids together, and then y'all break up, that's the fuck on you. You should be putting shit to the
That's
side.
why you
Right.
put some shit to the side and you get some businesses on top. So
Right.
y'all, you break up.
And you
I'm
shouldn't be.
good.
Get
Like,
mad money, huh?
you shouldn't be nobody's girlfriend for 15 years. Like, what we doing here? Where is this going? Why are we not
Let's talk
getting married?
about Puff Daddy. All of his was his girlfriends. He ain't married none of them.
But they're very well taken
They
care
were definitely well taken care of.
of. Even after he left, they're very well taken care of.
All of them.
That's fine and then.
I would be.
They were all-
I would
they
be
were all
Puff Daddy's
models.
girlfriend,
They were all models. They were all something though,
I
right?
would be Puff Daddy's
Hold up.
girlfriend.
They were all something, right? They were all somebody's.
Kim Porter was Alfie Shore baby mother.
But she was a model too, right?
She was a
Yeah.
something. She was a model for a little bit. I don't think Nisa was anything.
Lisa was a model, right?
No, ain't she a stylist?
And a stylist, right?
And then Cassie was a singer.
We're not counting Cass because she had no baby. We talking about the other girl.
Oh, the other girl, Chase mom. I don't know what
She's
she
a model.
did.
She's a model as well. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know what she did.
So they all had a couple of dollars for themselves, right?
Did they?
I mean, I said a couple of dollars. I ain't saying big bags, but they got a couple of dollars, right?
I mean, I guess so.
So therefore, they don't deserve nothing. We talking about the wife. We talking about the girlfriends and all that. They don't deserve no extra stuff for them, right?
No, they should have been putting something aside.
Okay, that's
So
all.
they don't get child support. But child support is based off the man's income. So you making millions of dollars.
It is, right?
Hundreds of thousands of
It
dollars.
is. But a lot of them be asking for extra. Like y'all said, what you said? You wine and dined me when you had me, right? That's what you said, right? Reese?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
All right, we're gonna move on.
So we're gonna talk. Go ahead, Six. You had something
Oh,
to
no,
say?
I just wanted to ask, when you say putting something to the side, do you mean putting some of your money to the side?
I don't have a job. Nigga. It's your money. And I'm putting it to the side.
Why?
Because you gave it to me. You
I
gave me that money, and I knew how to make a savings account.
If I don't have anything coming in,
It's a robbery.
whatever you give me.
No, then you gave it to me. You gave me that money to go shopping, and I spent half of it, put the other half in savings.
That's why I
When you
don't
fuck up
believe in
and
that.
leave, I need a couple dollars over here.
That's why I don't pay for it.
Well, nigga, you don't have fucking money, so it don't even matter.
Here
we go. It don't even matter. Anyway, we're not even gonna go back to that.
No, we're not going.
So we're gonna talk about step parents. I'm not nobody. Well, Six is the only one in here that's a step parent. But I have step parents. Like my stepmother, she's love her to death. She's a very, very funny lady sometimes. But
Did you give her a hard time?
no, my mother gave her the blues. Like my mother gave her the blues until
How long has she been married to your father?
I don't know my dad not to be with her.
Okay.
And I'm 37. I think they got together when I was like 4 or 5.
Okay.
Like I don't have a memory of my stepmom not being there. And my mother gave her the blues until I was like 24. And now she'd be like, "Oh, it's okay." And she's like, "I don't know why we don't get along, because you was on bullshit for a long time." So I was talking to some other friends about step parents, and I have a friend who was in a situation where she was married and her husband had children, and her kids could see that he treated his kids differently. So there was a bit of favoritism that was shown. Like he would always be nicer and treat his kids better because like they were only there on the weekends, whereas her kids, because they were there every day, like he would be more of a disciplinarian to them. Again, I'm not a step parent. Six, how do you work in your step parenting situation?
Well, I became a step parent when she was like 15.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was already established, and I went into the situation with the wrong intentions. Like I said, I haven't dealt with girls before, and those are tricky. It's way different for somebody who deals with boys. So I went into it like, I want to make sure she likes me, and then I'm stuck with the same situation where, yeah, we're cool, but sometimes if I tell her to do something like that, she'll take it as a friend, and I'm still stuck in the same situation. So it's still a lessons learned for me.
That's a hard situation. Girls and boys are definitely different. And if you're dating someone who is like you can't say nothing to their child, that's the hardest part of trying to getting good with that because you're playing the front role because you're trying to get in good not only with the mother, but then you're trying to get in good with the daughter or the child. So it's like you're trying to establish yourself, but you can't establish yourself because if I say the wrong thing, she gonna tell her mother. If I say the wrong thing in the mother head, she gonna try to scold me in front of the child, and now I'm looking like an asshole either way.
Yeah. And another thing that you have to really worry about is their emotions and how they carry stuff. Like stuff I can say to my boy, like, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I can't say that to her, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it might hurt her feelings.
Right.
And if she starts crying, I'm done. It breaks me down. So that's rough. Like it's just hard to do both things. Be the stern person that I want to be, but it's like I gotta care about her feelings, and also I want her, even though her father is not in her life either. I'm trying to set an example of what a man should be like and treat her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we try to do a date thing and all that stuff, so she can understand that.
Like,
Men, no, I know, but you know, I definitely would want her to see that men are good, and it's hard because, like we've all seen, there's a lot of fuck dudes out there who just acting foolish.
Is she dating?
Oh man, I don't even want to get into that, but yes, she is.
Does she talk to you about it, or she just talks to the mom?
She just talks to the mom. Well, actually, she talks to both of us, but it's kind of, we haven't met this dude, and we have a situation where, you know, I don't think I'm ever gonna like a dude that she brings home yet. Like,
not at this age, not at this.
well,
not this
she's
generation.
18, but I'm looking at this dude, and I know what I was thinking when I was 18,
Right.
and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, no, I'm thinking the same damn thing.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not cool with Jews yet.
So she's 18.
I know.
She's 18.
I know, but
And
it's
she
rough.
out there about it.
Pause.
She is.
I was about to say that.
She is. They both are. Anyway, they are.
Don't say that. I got an 18-year-old, and my mind frame is like,
She out there fucking.
We don't want to hear that, especially the men.
She is. She out there fucking. She been fucking. Probably since she was like 16. We all was. Anyway, so you parent your daughter different than your son?
No, I'm their friend.
But then you just said that she can play on your emotions stuff.
Yeah,
So if your son start crying, what you
I
gonna
don't feel bad, but that's just the type of person that I am.
Oh, wait till I tell him. Oh, I'm texting him tonight. Be like, yo, next time you did, get on your nerves.
But
Start crying.
He a man type person.
We have a good relationship. Wait till I tell him.
Alright.
And he got to get his license. I'm on it. He's crying. On there, like, yo, this is what he
you
said.
can't be their friend though.
I mean, people say that. I'm trying.
Why can't you be their friend and their parent?
What?
You can. You ain't always got to be the parent.
I got to be the parent.
I mean, you will always be a parent, but you can be a friend and a parent.
Because you know what? You want to know why? An 18-year-old's mouth is different than the 7-year-old.
An 18-year-old mouth will have you on your way to jail.
Exactly. Like the other day, she told. Let me tell you something real quick.
Tell me why you mad.
Let me tell you real quick. So she got her little job. 3 weeks go past. She finally get a check. I said, "You got your check?" Yeah. I said, "How much you getting your check?" You're not supposed to ask nobody how much they get. I said, "What?" I said, "Who you playing with?" First of all, I'm your father. I can ask you what I want you. So she tells me. I said, "Well, you should have been able to break that down, some of your savings, pay your grandmother back for helping you with the Ubers and other little things."
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should be able to do what I want to do with my first check.
She should.
Hell
With
no.
your first check, you're supposed to blow that, and then your second check is when you start saving and paying people back.
Yeah, you blow it at 15 years old, not 18 when you owe people money and stuff like that.
Who she owe money?
Grandma for the
Grandma!
You ever tell your mother gonna go off because she ain't pay her back?
My mother wouldn't even want the money.
Right.
It's the principle.
She won't pay her back, and your mom's gonna give her
We'll
back
see.
anyway.
And then I said to her,
Don't
so this is what I said.
worry.
This is what I said to her. Since you out here living your life and you do all this stuff that's so good, pay your phone bill.
You're so mean.
I mean,
Pay your phone bill.
don't you think of that as a lesson that you're telling her that she should pay her grandma just in case she ever gets in a wild situation?
Exactly.
Like a wild situation.
But not with your first check.
Why not?
I mean, but if you owe somebody, you owe somebody.
If I'm gonna owe them with my second check.
No.
I mean,
It's a
if
gesture
Grandma
of
didn't
good
press up
favor.
on- She didn't press up on it. Why she can't?
Because it's a gesture of good favor.
Second
Yeah.
check.
No. Here,
I'm gonna still owe
Grandma.
her the second
Here go out of my first check. Here go $25 towards you helping me. Oh no, baby, you fine.
Yeah.
Just keep it. Put it in your savings account.
So did you explain it to her like that? Oh no, you don't
No, because
explain.
you're cheating.
I did explain to her.
Like just like you just
Yeah.
said. And she said,
I feel like my first check I should be able to do what I want to do
And then
and blow it how I want to
you
blow.
said? Then that's you told me to pay your bill.
I said, since you out here living your life like it's golden,
Pay your phone.
pay your phone bill. I'm
Did
not
you pay
gonna.
it?
She gonna be paying it. Hopefully, she gonna be paying it coming up. But if not, of course, I'm gonna have to pay it.
She was posted.
So you just
so
being
what?
tough for no reason.
Yeah, basically.
You just being tough for no reason. Because just like
Teach
you
her a
explained to her, like,
Teach her a
oh,
lesson.
just give your grandmother 24 hours. When she said, like, I feel like I should be able to do what I want with my first check, you probably should. But out of good faith and a good gesture, you should at least offer your grandmother 25. You know she ain't gonna take it. Like, why you always gotta be hard?
Pay that phone bill, then we can talk.
How much is that phone bill?
It's broken down, 105. You can pay. She can pay that.
Yeah,
She can pay that.
You know, you're gonna
I've been paying this since she was 7.
right, and keep paying it.
No, she 18 now, living her life. She want to be
She's not paying that bill.
getting her nails popping, her
Man,
hair
if I
popping.
had her number, I would text her already too. Like, yo,
Don't worry about it.
don't pay that. Don't worry, I'm gonna get a number. Like, see, don't pay that. She did
She
that.
don't pay it.
What you gonna do? Get cut off?
You'll be texting nothing.
I'll be that too. I'll be sitting outside of Morgan.
You ain't gonna get cut it off, and you can pay that shit too. Y'all always playing games. Anyway,
No, hell with that.
so do you all have a problem being called a baby daddy or a baby mama? No? Is that
Who
no?
cares?
I mean, I've heard men say, like, I'm not a
My
baby
child's
daddy.
mother. My child's father.
So I've heard men say, like, I'm not a baby daddy, I'm a father. And I've heard women say, like, I don't want him to call me I don't want him to call me his baby mama, like I'm his child's mother. I don't have a problem with it, but I've heard before that people have an issue with it because the term baby daddy and baby mama kind of have a negative connotation.
What's so negative about
Blame it on hip hop.
it? Right.
That's what that negative conversation.
What's so negative about it?
I mean, because usually, like, when you think of a baby daddy, you think of a deadbeat. And usually when you think of a baby mama, you think of, like, some hood wrecker.
I've met a lot of people that's professional, nice households, together, and they say, oh, my baby father just sent me out here, or my baby mama, and it's nothing.
It doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to me either. But I know that some people don't appreciate
Who that is?
I seen some people on Instagram, you know, they were saying that it has that negative connotation and they weren't too happy with it. But me personally, if you take it as the literal terms, you know what I'm saying, that you and that person have a baby together, y'all not together, then
That baby's mom. That's
basically,
that baby that. But my homegirl, she's like almost 40. She still say my baby father. I don't like that.
Well, what you want to call him?
I was like 16, 17.
So you just say what so dad?
well,
I
my
think
team
right.
daddy. I don't know.
She be like, my baby father, my baby father. And I'm like, yo, he's not a baby. And you're almost 40. Why you still saying it? And your son is like 17.
Would you still call your child your baby if they were
If my
like
daughter was like
18?
18, and would I say my baby father? I don't think so.
No, but your child. Because some people be like, you always gonna be my baby.
They are.
Well, yeah. And
So then, if you think about the term, it's still your baby daddy.
That was weird.
So Courtney says, hell yeah, I'm not a baby mama. I do so much for the children, and it sounds so negative. I am the professional with a nice household, so put some respect on my name.
All right.
All right, Birdman.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Put some respect on my name.
I don't have a problem with you calling me.
So, Courtney, what do you want to be called?
She wants to be called the kid's mother. My kid's mother. I don't know what she wants to be called. I don't particularly care what you call me. Your kid's mother, that bitch over there, that fucking crazy woman. I don't care what you call me, but when you get paid every
Cut
other
the
Friday,
check.
I want to get paid too. That's all I'm asking.
Cut the
You
check.
call me anything.
So you get child support?
Just from the oldest one. From my ex-husband, who doesn't give me anything.
I don't want the child support, but he doesn't pay.
Well,
It's
so
noted.
see,
Oh, that's his ass. So what about
my
he would never had nothing good.
so my ex-husband told me that he's not
Their
willing to
mother.
give me any money to take care of a house that he doesn't live in.
He doesn't understand.
What if
Right, so we're not like officially divorced yet. We actually go to court next month. So that's
Okay.
when he'll find out like that's not how it works.
what
That's what we're gonna find out.
Would
That's not right.
would it be okay if he did his due diligence in the child's life and just didn't pay the child support?
I mean, my bills is paid now.
I mean,
I
would
wouldn't
you be
have a
okay
problem.
with that?
I would
With him knowing his and didn't pay child support.
Yeah, like if he took the child out, got clothes,
That's actually my ideal.
I feel like that works better.
Like birthday, Christmas, back to school. I think they like the main important ones. And I feel like if I could, if I could be normal to me, get that part down pat, I got the rest.
Yeah.
Those are.
Check this out.
Here we go. Are you gonna talk about your man or you gonna talk
Check
about
this out.
Go ahead.
Some women, not all, if you go and buy we're gonna start from the baby side of things. Go buy the diapers and the wipes and the milk and blah blah blah. Some still want the support money. Then when they get older, you buy the school clothes, birthday. What's your birthday, Christmas? That's what you said, right?
I said birthday.
Birthday, Christmas,
Back to school.
back to school,
And I guess like maybe winter clothes.
winter clothes, spring clothes, spring shoes.
They said, like, don't start yelling.
Yeah, I got you. Because some women, they ain't trying to hear that. You go all out.
Well, I mean,
That's the caliber of woman you deal with.
No, I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about my situation.
Well, that's just that's the baby mama.
So what's a child mother that want that too? Or what they say? Their mother. What's them ones?
She don't want all it.
No, what they want that?
women.
Their mother, child mother, my children's mother. What if they want those?
I don't know those women. Like, I don't know women who, like, the father is actively in their life, taking care of the kids, doing what needs to be done. It's like, oh, I still need you to give me $500.
Yeah,
They out there. Some of them is out there.
I'm not saying that they're not out there. I'm just saying I don't know them.
Yeah, they should have just an agreement, like as adults. Reese and this person has a child. They should say, "Hey, I don't really want to get you involved with the court systems, but this is what I expect of you." And it's better for him not to go through that court stuff.
But then when it don't happen, then what I'm supposed to do?
Then you got to do what you got to do.
And you go to court and send them to jail.
And I hope
Can
that
you
brother
file
is.
taxes?
I hope that brother is documenting what he buys. And
I'm gonna tell you something like this.
What he
He
buys.
doesn't buy anything.
I'm gonna tell you this. He's fucked for the rest of his life. I'm trying to tell you something.
What happens if you don't pay child support?
There you
They
go.
going to arrears.
The county
You can't have
is
nothing.
stricter
What do you
than
say?
the city, and I went through the county.
When you go into arrears, that shit
It's
stacks
suspend your
up.
license.
So you suspend your license. You can go
And
to
what
jail behind
happens
that
is,
shit.
when they lock you up, your bail is what you owe for child support. So if you owe $2,000, that's your preset bail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit. That he in a world of trouble. And then say like, okay,
The kid can be like 22.
right? Say they suspend the
So
license, and he said, well, I got a job I gotta go to. That shit will go on the back of their license.
Yeah.
They will put that stipulation on there for work purposes only.
Mm-hmm.
So
You get
in
four
his
hours and you on
situation,
your way to work.
he's fucked for life. So they can mess around and don't pay if they don't want to. That's that ass.
I mean, I feel like the idea of an agreement, like, as long as you take care of the
Not to
kids.
cut you off, but we'll be right back. Y'all gonna pay these bills.
Sure. I'm gonna need you when you look at that and we only have like 45 seconds. Start talking in.
I'm tuning in.
But you keep letting me like.
Go and talk.
I'm just trying to
Listen to you.
continue the conversation.
They talking to you. They listening to you.
It's so goddamn annoying.
Let's read the comments.
It says, and while you locked up, it's on hold waiting for you to get out and make some money for them.
You only locked up for it. You're not locked up.
Shit. You work in the system. You know. It was motherfuckers over that pen that was locked up for child support. They don't play around. They don't play around. That's one thing.
What time is it?
10:30. Like, what's my caller?
It's 10:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can call.
I don't know if it's gonna
Wait, do
show
you
up.
want to talk about the toxic mother and absent fathers, or you want to do calls? But we told it.
I know, we put the promoter tag and everything.
Tell them the number.
I already did.
Do it again.
Put the number in there.
I did. Hey y'all, so if y'all want to call in 570-763 WMSK. We're going to be taking these calls next.
You said 570 what?
570-763 WMSK. We'll be taking these calls coming up. 967, I want to say 5 or 8. It doesn't look right to me. Well, WMSK, they never know what it is.
I'm not giving the numbers, please.
Hold on.
570-763.
What is the K? Okay, 5. 570-763-9675. 570-763-9675. Coming up.
Is the phone thing up now?
Yeah, it's on maybe.
So while we're waiting on the call, I'll bring up the topic here.
So
Somebody call in. Somebody call in. Let me hear your voice.
Hey,
Somebody want to go?
anybody know who Courtney is?
That's fine.
That's up. Somebody call in.
I think, man, we don't like to be told that we have to do that. Just like we don't like to be told that we came to play.
we move.
Hey,
We
y'all.
gotta run the show. I dictate.
Do you make?
I dictate.
Oh, we ain't ready.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I dictate.
We fucking. I ain't fucking with you.
If he was better, would you still dictate like that?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess if he was, he's just not responsible, so I had to dictate. And he said that to me one time. Why you gotta dictate the time I spent with my daughter? Because I had to. You know what I'm saying? You bring her home late, you didn't feed her. I mean, it's
That's common sense shit, though. Come on, man.
Just see, y'all don't
That's
understand what
common-
I deal with.
Nigga ain't gonna feed. My bad. Oh, we ain't live ready. Nigga ain't gonna feed the child. He bring her at 12 o'clock at night.
And he goes to McDonald's right after you drop off.
Right. To get his shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? As soon as he drop off, he's straight to the value meal.
Let
me get you a fish.
I'm just saying, you call your pocket. Hey, $16 for me there.
Wait till I talk to my brother. Wait till I talk to him. I'm gonna be like, yo, let me tell you how
He eat a lot. He goes to some damn Chinese place. Panda. All the time, and he get the 3 meal. Then right after, we went to wrestling the other day.
Because that is the lifestyle that you have allowed him to become accustomed to. So you can't be mad now because when he was younger, you was letting him get the 3 meals. So that's the lifestyle that you've allowed him to be accustomed to, and you have to continue paying.
And like, man, that food was expensive. Like the other day when we was at wrestling, he wanted us to go get him some grapes and some fruit snacks, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm like,
oh yeah, damn it, that was supposed to go.
I'm like, why would you have grapes and fruit snacks?
Because you need grapes and oranges. I'm always gonna be on his side. I'm always on his side. That's his mind.
Well,
I am. He can do no wrong. Even when he be fucking up, I be like, yo, come on, son. Let's get this together.
Drop.
And then we come back.
That's what my mother was saying about my stepfather. He's been in my life since I was 1.
Mm-hmm.
So my biological father just wasn't consistent at all. So my stepfather was there for everything.
All right, all right, all right, all right. We are back. We are back. We are back. Monet the Great, what are we doing now, Monet the Great? Where are we going with this situation now?
So we're taking calls. The number is pinned. If you would like to chime in on the topic of parenting, you can give us a call at 570-763-9675 and let your voice be heard on the shop. Our last topic of the evening is a toxic mother worse than an absent father?
Yes, indeed.
I think it's about the same.
What?
Well,
So why do you not? Okay, Reese, why do you think it's the same?
I think it's the same because toxic mother, we referring to someone that.
can we define toxic first?
Okay. All right. So in my point, my view of toxic is just very negative, drama, talk to the, like verbally abusive, maybe, bitter, maybe not happy about past relationship, and the child it can see what's going on.
Okay.
So
So,
we're on the same page.
you feel like a person basically with mental health issues is the same as
mental issue.
No. What you just said was talking down to the child, verbally abusive. They have issues from past relationships. Basically, they're fucked up.
Okay, all right. I can agree to say that.
So therefore, they are the same as an absent motherfucker who ain't even there?
Yeah, because your child
They just have bad vibes.
you didn't let them change your thought. Your child is taking this in and it can carry you on to when your child gets older.
But if the child don't even know the father, they don't know the father.
That's fucked up too.
Yeah, that's fucked up. But if the child does not know the father, and then you have a mother like Monet who says, swipe the father. Swipe the father, I'm gonna be the mother. We're not gonna say the father. I'm gonna be the best mother I can for my children, and they're gonna they're gonna be the best areas, and I'm gonna make sure they get into school, college, X, Y, and Z. And I'm gonna pay all my bills, and everything is all good. They don't know the father. But then we have the toxic mother who talks down, excuse me, they might not put their hands on them, but they might as well. And now, boy, I'm sure all of y'all done seen it. You be in the supermarket. Girl, fuck no, you can't have that shit. Let's get the fuck out this store. You gonna eat what the fuck I make. Calling little kids bitches and all that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is.
You're yelling at them again.
Don't worry about that. They all right.
They know hush.
But what I'm saying to you is, you feel like that mother is the same as a non-father who not even in the kid's life?
I feel like every child is their father. Or if not their biological father, a male figure. And if they don't have that, I just feel like they need it.
Well, both of them are messing up the child mentally. And we're not sure about the ramifications of what's going to happen to that child later on down the line. And both of them are just doing bad for the child. It's all negative.
But what I'm saying to you all.
So wait, are you seeing it as the child has a toxic mother and an absent father? Or the child has a toxic mother, but the father is present?
I'm seeing it as how you presented it.
I didn't present it either way. I didn't present it either way. I said it's a toxic mother worse than an absent father.
That was a good spin.
Right.
No, but like, how do you feel like I presented it? Because I didn't say like they have a toxic mother.
Or maybe it's not you. Maybe I'll reset it. I don't fucking know.
I didn't. No, I know.
I'm confused.
Seeing it. That's
Okay, so
why
this is how I'm seeing it. Oh shit! Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
We got a caller.
Hold on. Hello. Yeah, how can we help you?
Who this?
Welcome to the shop.
Welcome to the shop. How can we help you tonight?
Who this?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, talk to us. Talk to us.
Yeah. What I'm saying is it's the same because if we think about it, even though one is present with toxic parent, present with toxic mother's parent, as it falls, it's just as much damage psychologically. Because the child starts to think, without even realizing, or parent might realize the child starts to think that what did I do with the son I did, and my parent is not here, is my parent not loving me? Why is my father around?
You're exactly right. Say your name for us.
Nah, it's Ty, big Ty.
Oh, okay, Ty. Okay, Ty. You know what? You absolutely right, though. You absolutely right. Yeah, big Ty. Thanks for calling here. Thank you.
We just had our first call.
Baby cry. I got a bunch of baby cry.
Yeah. Go take care of that baby. All right.
Good father.
All right, y'all heard Ty.
I think if you have a toxic mother but a present father who is there and is nurturing, and then it would be the same as having an absent mother, because like Ty said, they're both going to have ramifications later in life. Like you're going to have an issue with the fact that your father wasn't there and he didn't love you, or that's how you're going to feel. And then you'll have an issue with the fact that like my mother was there, but she also didn't love me because she was treating me bad. Yes, the mother is usually seen as the nurturer, but a father can definitely be nurturing. I mean, there's single fathers out there doing their thing.
Yeah, shout out to them.
I don't know if you can say one is worse than the other. I think it all depends on the rest of the environment and everything else that's going on around you.
I just feel like you know what, you're right, because I never had a situation where my mother did me wrong. My mother did all the way right. She did all the way right, and the other person came when he wanted to, and whatever the case may be. So they don't got no effects on me. It is what it is. But I just feel like if the person isn't present, then hey, maybe down the road they might meet somebody in their life like a 6 who will bring out the shining light in them, even though they have a toxic mom.
But actually, when you think about it, it did affect you, and it affects you in a way that you're saying, forget all this, I'm going to be in my child's life all the time.
So, right, Key, I'm sorry, I'm reading what she said. I agree. If you have a toxic mother and an absent father, then yes, the toxic mother would then be worse. Because if you have no father and all you have is this mother that's in the grocery store or wherever calling you all kinds of bitches and cussing you out and everything like that, that would be worse because that's the only parent you have, and now you have no one nurturing you and telling you that you can be more than what you are and better than what they are. So if there is no father and the mother is toxic, then I would say that the toxic mother is worse than the absent father if it's a combined situation.
Okay, so now we're on the same page.
But
Right, I just needed you to understand where you were coming from. That's why I asked you where you got confused. So.
Yeah,
it also could be a good thing because, like my mom
I
said,
got you, Jiggy.
she had a toxic mother, but my mother loved her children differently than she was loved.
Mm-hmm.
So she knew that when she had children, okay, I'm gonna love my children differently. So
That's usually the case, though.
not all the time.
No,
not all the
Like
time.
not all the time, but like let's say like.
Because like both of my kids' fathers come from two-parent households.
Wow.
And you wouldn't think that.
Right, both of my kids' fathers come from two-parent households. My ex-husband's parents have a 4-bedroom,
still
2-car
together,
garage,
right?
still together, like upper middle class. My older son's parents, like they got a divorce, like once their youngest kids were like in their mid-20s. But they grew up in Howard County in two-parent households in the suburbs, living life just fine. But then for some reason, you turned out to be like an ancient dad. Like I don't understand. Like I never would have had children with people that I thought was just gonna be like no one has kids by someone like I never.
Oh, I hate when somebody say that. Oh my God, you had a baby with him. Why didn't you think he was gonna be a piece of shit down the line?
Like he wasn't a piece of shit.
I really hate.
Everybody is not meant to be a parent. So not to say that you have to. Everybody's not meant to be a parent.
Don't say that. God put these children on
But everybody's not meant to be a parent.
take care of them.
You're right, but everybody's not meant to be a parent.
That is true.
There's not saying that God gave this guy's nutsack a willing
What
fight,
garbage?
and the other guy, he couldn't have kids, but he would be the best darn father ever. And then this lady, her womb couldn't produce, but then the other woman who had all these 12 kids, calling them bitches in the damn grocery store,
So
God gave them them kids too. So what I'm saying to you is everybody's not meant to have children. And in your mother's case, she wanted to do the reverse than her mother. Like it's like like Antoine Fisher movie.
Mm-hmm.
He was abandoned by his mother. His father was killed. He went to he was in the little, what do they call, foster care situation.
Mm-hmm.
They fucked him up, abused him sexually, everything. He didn't know how to show love, but then he met a good woman who taught him how to show love. He met a good mentor who taught him how to show love. But everybody's not meant to be a good parent. But God puts children in the bad parents' hands as well. It's a fucked up situation.
So therefore, if God put you in this situation to be a parent, do what the fuck you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta
But
do.
sometimes not being a parent is the best option.
You goddamn right.
Like sometimes, like a person needs to know, like this ain't for me. This ain't gonna happen.
Right.
I'm not that type of situation. Like it. I don't know. I'm a nurturing person, and so like I don't know what my life would be like if I didn't have children. But I know that there are people out there who are like married and have consciously decided like we're not gonna have kids.
But they have dogs.
Yeah, they do.
And those are their kids, see?
Oh yeah. And it's not that they're gonna be bad parents. I don't know why people who don't have kids don't have kids. I've never asked. I feel like that's a sensitive subject. But I also feel like if you are in a position where you're gonna have children and you know, like as a man, that you're not that you being there is gonna be worse than you not being there, it might be good for you to just go ahead and just step out and just help them financially rather than doing more damage to the child.
True.
And the same thing with a mother. Like if you know that you about to be like one of them moms who's gonna be dropping the baby off at your mom's house, you can go and party, and then next thing you know it's Tuesday, you drop that baby off on Friday. Like just go ahead and like just tell your mom like this
ain't for me.
Right, this ain't for me.
What can we do? What can we work out?
You can put me on child support. Like
Right.
something.
What can we work out?
I don't know. It's all parenting is. So I'm in this mom group, and one of the memes we.
What are our groups?
I am in a mom group on Facebook. It's a mom group comprised of all women that went to Hampton University. So like we have our own group or whatever. And I remember one time we were having a conversation that parenting is the hardest job that you'll ever willingly sign up for. Like it's the hardest job that you will ever be like, yep, I want to do this. And then when you get into it, you're like, what the fuck just happened? Because like there's no right or wrong way to do anything. Like some people would say, oh, no screen time. Or other people are like, look, go ahead and watch that YouTube video while I cook dinner.
Right.
Or some people feel like you should start potty training at 1, where other people are like, yo, I'm gonna start potty training when they're ready to potty train. Like there's no right or wrong way to parent. You have to do what's best for you and your household and your kids. And forget what society is saying. Like if it works for your kids to sit down and watch that YouTube video, let them watch it. If it works for your kids to play Fortnite for 4 hours but their grades are still good, Fortnite that shit out.
Right.
I'm gonna sit right there and watch you do whatever it is that game is doing. It's weird to me. But parenting is the hardest job that you will ever willingly do.
And it does not come with a manual.
It doesn't.
It does not come with a manual.
Or how to.
Or a how-to.
No. Everybody on a learning curve.
Everybody.
I just said in my mom group today, like, if I knew that the teenage years were going to be what they have been, like, there would be no second child. Like, if I knew, if I knew then that these between 14 and 18, the stress that you was going to take me through, like, no, I would not have signed up to do this again. Like, hell, the last like 90 days of this year, this 18-year-old that I have, like, oh, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. I just be looking at him like, I cannot wait. Lord, I cannot wait until we get over this hump, because right now we are in a battle of, you're in a single parent household, there's no man in the house, you're 18, you feeling yourself, you trying to flex your muscle, but you don't pay no fucking bills around here. So I gotta keep reminding you that all the muscle that you trying to flex, that shit can't top all the muscle I got over here. And then you in your head, well, I'm 18, I'm grown, I can do this, I can do that. Well, move the fuck out and see how grown you are. Move out.
What did he say?
He hasn't necessarily said it. Like,
That's how
he
he
has
feel.
said, you can just tell, like, that's how he feels. You know what I mean? And so my older son, he deals with anxiety and depression. And so the whole getting ready for college type situation, like, you can only imagine, like, how anxious he is and how much, how much that can put on a person. So I have to be mindful of the things I say and do at times when it comes to, like, disciplining him. One, because he's 18, and two, because I don't want to send him on a downward spiral. Because people who deal with depression, like, when they get down, like, it's not just like, oh, you're gonna be all right type of thing. Like, it's like days of which I gotta keep coming in and checking on you, making sure you're okay, you're not missing school, and the counselors is called. So it's a whole lot that I have to deal with on top of just regular teenage shit. So if I knew when I had my youngest son that I was going to go through all this, I probably wouldn't have had no more kids. It's just a lot. Teenagers are a lot. I'd rather have babies.
So let me ask you something, Six.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now that we had this topic about, are you still having baby fever?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
You're getting old.
I know, but I would like somebody to come out and look like me and carry on my actual biological legacy.
So y'all are actively trying.
Yeah, so
I mean, well, you married, so I mean, no, so when I say actively trying, like, there's no, like, protection to stop it from happening.
No. I'm sure the club up,
Does she have an ovulation tracker? I have a really good tracker on my phone that I've had 2 people using and got pregnant. I can tell you what the app is.
Yeah, I mean, she does have one, but I would gladly take another.
Yeah, I have this app on my phone. My boss's daughter could not get pregnant to save her life. She had like 2 miscarriages, and we were sitting at a conference one year. And I said, oh, look, I have this app just to track, my period or whatever. But it tells you when you're ovulating, and I had her download the app. And I said, look, these days is the days in which you're ovulating. And she's like, no, and we're going to be out of town. I began to the next time I saw her, she wasn't pregnant. I'm going to give you the app, and then y'all give it a try.
All right.
It's called like period tracker or something. I don't know. I think that's what it's called. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, and I've had one other person like
you on their chance of pregnancy.
Well, we have glow. And sometimes it seems like you hit a limit, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And like sometimes the dates be off.
My period tracker ain't never been wrong.
Well,
That joint.
You hear that?
we need a check. We need a check.
Then let's check. You put it on your phone. Or put it on her phone.
No, but I'm just saying, we about to say they name.
Oh, yeah, we do need to check. See
That's
that?
a free app. They go. That's a free app.
We are online promoting these.
Right. We are promoting their period tracker app.
Is your wife still in the room? I'm sorry.
If anybody else has a business or something that they want promoted, we'll gladly do it for a small check.
There we go. All you business entrepreneurs out there, hit us up. Hit the shop. DMV.
Commercials, we do a video, we do whatever it takes. Give us that check.
You know, commercial.
If they pay us enough, I'm sure we can.
Will you put something together?
Mm-hmm.
You can bring your ring light.
My ring light.
We can do it right here in the studio.
Oh, man. So anybody else on live want to call in? We got a few minutes for y'all.
Come on, somebody call and close us out.
Call in and let's talk about some parenting things. We talked about a lot today, so let's talk about it. Call us up.
Okay.
God damn, Courtney. You want a free ad?
Don't be my friend like that.
They
Shit.
already seen Courtney stuff in the thing, so she's trying to get that paper.
God damn, Courtney.
Courtney, what business you got?
Courtney's social worker in Roanoke, Virginia.
Oh man.
I just want to keep on coming over here.
She just want to make sure that people get to see you, so they can see who's
This
yelling at
all
them,
night.
They better stick with us.
screaming and hollering.
Thursday night, 9:05
Going down
to 11 p.m. every Thursday.
every Thursday.
It's 10:58. How much time you got left?
Are we doing the closeout? We doing the
Oh, you
closeout?
have an inspirational quote.
Yeah, you know I got one for you.
And it's about parenting.
I gotta change my shit around. All right, I will incorporate my weekly closeout with you parents, baby mama, baby father, their mother, Courtney, and all the rest of you all. But we ain't ready yet.
Oh, shout out to the social workers, man.
Shout out to the social workers.
There you go, your first free ad.
There you
Social
go.
workers. Go see your homegirl, Courtney.
Courtney, shout out to Courtney.
If your kid got issues, holla at Courtney.
Courtney, I am a social worker. Shout you out. All the other social workers out there. Actually, you know what? Social work is a nice job, though.
It is, but you need to get your master's. I have those papers.
Shout out Reese with this.
Yeah, shout it out.
So you won't go back for your MSW?
I would like to. I would, but I need to work.
Yeah, and the program is.
I can't quit my job right now to go to school, so that's why I have to work.
Courtney the plug, though.
I think Courtney worked while she was getting her
She
MSW,
probably did.
but she lives in Virginia.
Deep in Virginia.
Like where? Richmond?
Roanoke.
Oh, Roanoke. Shout out Roanoke.
I mean, I know a couple people that got their master's in social work and they said it was really hard. And then I know that the University of Maryland program, like, they requested you not
That's
work.
for me.
Business cards on the way, Courtney.
I don't know what business she's talking
What
about.
I'm working on is being a serial entrepreneur, so I can go to school full time.
Okay.
Freestyle hustler.
Yes.
That's why on the new flyer, she throwing the money.
Yeah.
She got that bread.
She the new neighborhood Reese.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reese hustle.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Reese hustle.
My graduation date is May 18th, y'all.
All right,
Congratulations.
graduation, 18th, May 18th, y'all. We lost your graduation. Woo! All right. Let's close this thing out. Let's close this thing out.
She gonna tell them about how it was.
We had a good night. Parenting, we know is hard. But this is what I want to say because they try to throw me off of ending something with parenting.
Go ahead, say what you was going to say.
But this is what I'm going to say, and then I'm going to wrap all this up. No matter what people think of you, always keep singing your own song. Therefore, good, right, or indifferent, we have no manual. We have no script. We have none of those things when it comes to parenting. We can only do what's right for our child. If you want to play the front role and be safe, be safe. If you want to be the hard, non-negotiation person like Hutch, do that. But always show your child love. Please do not be the toxic parent. Please do not go around calling your child a bunch of bitches and you don't love them. Love your child. If your parent didn't love you, reverse the cycle. It's okay. So just know that your child will always love you. Parenting is hard, but we have to do the job. If you are a parent, whether full-time parent, co-parent, side parent, step-parent, godparent, do the job that you have been called to do. A coach, they are parents as well to these children. Please don't half-ass the job. See y'all next week. One love. Everything will be all right. Stay the course. Love your child. Anybody else? See y'all next Thursday.
Bye.
Good night, good night,
See
good
you
night,
later.
good night.
Good night, good night, good night.
All right.
All right, so when you hit end, make sure you share and save. Okay.
Hey, y'all, thanks for tuning in.
And share.
Really appreciate the love, the comments, and the calls.
Yeah, Todd, big Todd, thanks for the call.
Thanks. And Courtney told to you, we only have a minute left.
All right, Courtney.
Hit her, I think she said me 18.
Okay.